G'day folks, just a little bit of an update on the Mercedes Black Death injector fix. I've actually managed to remove the injector and clean the seat. I didn't do a step-by-step video because I'm pretty short for time and just want to focus on the job at hand because it's a very expensive one if I mess something up. But I actually made my own little seat cleaning tool. It's a bit of a clear acrylic rod. I super glued a collar made out of a bit of 20mm electrical conduit onto it and turned it down to the same sort of step as the injector. Actually comes to about there. So all this diameter here is supported in the bore. That little stem in there is the same diameter. Actually it's a little bit larger. It's about 0.25mm larger than this 7mm stem. So once it's inserted down in the bore, it stays dead straight. You can't actually wiggle it around. But you can rotate it, and that little pad of 500 grit wet and dry, just use a bit of that and super glued that to the tip of it, just holding it flat against a washer for a good 10 minutes or so while it cured. Tedious, but it works. And sure enough, very gently lapping it just to clean up any carbon. I wanted to clean up any carbon before I got the USB microscope out and started shoving that down in there to see what's going on. But after that and another quick vacuum, like using the vacuum cleaner all the time, even with this 30 caliber bore brush, just scrubbing the carbon off the walls of the outside bore, just clean it up, don't allow anything to get into the chamber. And yeah, after a bit of a lap with this little emery disc and some auto-trans fluid, it's come up pretty good. I'm quite happy. I've still got to clean the injector up. It looks like a complete mess, but it should come up pretty good. I never even needed to use the extractor. As soon as I got this special socket onto it, it broke free and just started wiggling left and right. So I just kept wiggling it and lifted it straight up and out of the bore, which was nice because a lot of the time these just glue themselves in with this nasty partial combustion tar. I did have to pop the screwdriver down like that and just give it a little bit of persuasion, but again it wasn't stuck. If I could undo that whilst the injected body didn't move at all, it would have been stuck pretty damn good. But she came out nice and easy, which is a big relief. Still got the nice kit. I'll show you exactly how to use it eventually. As you can see there, you use the extractor tool basically to jack it out of the bore. Yeah, anyway, very expensive bit of kit. I think they're about $600 each, $600, $700 each, brand new. That was on eBay as well, not from a retailer. They're probably about $1,000 each from a retailer. So I've got a clean hole. Clean holes are always the best kind of holes. That's not dirty at all. Yeah, there we go. That washer-like surface is actually the surface of the head. After a very light hand lapping, just gently twiddling the stick, that's it. I did not use any power, anything like that. The walls appear to be pretty clean. I mean, I don't want to run a 12 gauge bore brush down it because I can't have the vacuum cleaner pick up hose at the bottom at the same time. I could sort of. The bristles on a 12 gauge shotgun brush are pretty long, so I could insert the suction hose all the way down there and then shove the brush in behind it, but I don't think that's necessary at this point. I mean, the whole time, all I've been conscious of is just stopping crud from going down into the cylinder. All this built-up crap around the top is well and truly stuck. I've vacuumed around it and just kept control of it. Very fine particles won't hurt the cylinder or the turbo, but big chunks could cause problems, so that's what I've been avoiding. Anyway, next step is to I'll give it another light clean. I might super glue a swab of cloth on the end of the rod and just swab the injector seat, clean the injector up, and we'll actually torque it back down again with a copper washer. And then clean that injector line, or take it off, cap the rail, and just wash and clean the injector line, and we should be right, because the injector itself's been sealed the whole time. I might redo these spill lines too. These two have been replaced with the brass ones, but these plastic ones break. And then you get a horrible mess as all the spill fuel comes out, the return fuel. Oh, of course, replace the lines too, because they're pretty cantankerous at the moment. It's, yuck. Poor old neglected engine. She needs some love and care, but come good. G'day folks, welcome to day 2. As you can see, I've been shopping again. Just by a chance I was at another shop picking something up for work, and I remembered there was a Prestige mechanic next door. Walked straight in and asked him about a coolant expansion tank, and sure enough he had one. He'd ordered it for a customer that had a actually it turned out to be a ground fault telling it the coolant level was low, not the sensor, and he ended up stuck with it. So yeah, he was happy to offload it for $140 as opposed to $240, because it is an original part. It's not a reproduction one. Yeah, which was fantastic. So that was cheap and easy. Well, not cheap, but necessary. The eBay one was about 117 plus shipping, so probably about 135 by the time I did that, and there was no guarantee that it was OEM. Could be OEM quality, but made in China or somewhere. This is the proper American made one. So I got that. I got some heater hose and other stuff just in case. I'm going to try and rerun the real shabby bits that came off the old bottle, because they're short and they're not going to reseal properly if I cut them back even. So just one of those things has to be done. Boxes of hose clamps, a T-piece and hose. So I'm going to redo the two small, I think they're 10mm hoses, and the 5/8 heater hose going to the auxiliary circulation pump and back to, where does the other side go? I think it actually goes to the radiator somewhere. No, sorry, heater core. It goes back off to the heater core or something like that. I can't remember. It's a weird circuit. So that's all good, and now I'm just going to clean out the muck from the injector bore. I've already cleaned the injector up, wire wheel most of it, and then just took a bit of carby cleaner on a soft cloth and cleaned the tip. The tip has microscopic holes in the end of it, and you don't want to be hitting that with a big nasty wire wheel. At least as far as I know anyway. I mean, no one's told me that, but it's kind of common sense. Delicate piece of equipment, don't wire wheel the crap out of it, just keep the rest of it clean. He also showed me something interesting to look out for. That is that these split. This one hasn't done it, but if you start seeing fuel coming out past the injector but no real combustion residue blasting out, it's probably cracked down here, because this is a threaded nozzle cap and it splits right down there. It's a known problem. It doesn't happen all the time, but it can happen. He had one on his workbench to show me, and there was a dirty great crack about a ½ inch long down there. So that was a very interesting piece of information. By comparison, that's out of a truck 6-cylinder. That's a conventional mechanically injected diesel. It's driven off a jerk type pump. That's what these replace, but these ones are electronically triggered, and they can give you initial combustion start spray at the beginning of towards top dead center, and just as it passes top dead center, the piston that is, it can just dump fuel in and keep the fire burning all the way down. So they're a very smart system compared with these ones, which are set to break out at a specific point and that's it. There's virtually no control on the injector, just the pump itself. You could advance or retard the pump a little bit, but that's about it. These, like a common automotive fuel injector, like an EFI petrol injector, just for diesels. Same principle, common supply rail supplies all your petrol injectors. This one has a common high pressure rail for diesel, just much higher pressure, so you get the proper atomization. Anyway, enough rambling. I'm going to clean up the hole in the head, the bore for the bolt to go down. It's a lot deeper than I thought, but of course it's a big long stretch bolt, so you want it to be deep. But essentially all I've done is use the copper capillary tube with compressed air and just sort of rod it and blow it out with a bit of degreaser. Clean that up. I've got my little seat cleaning tools just shoved in there with some rag on it so I can clean around it and not end up with crud all down the bore. But that looks pretty good. I'm going to get my long series M6 tap and just run that down by hand, and that should do it. It is very deep. A standard length M6 tap will not reach it, but the long series ones that are about that long with a nice long smooth stem on them just fit. Not everyone's going to have one of those handy, and they're probably pretty expensive to buy, but I just happen to have one, so rather than just chemically flushing it out and blowing it out with air, I'm actually going to chase the threads and then put some Never-Seez on the bolt and drive it in. I believe, I'm going to double check this before I start, but you set your torque wrench to 7 Newton meters, let it click, and then it's 90 degrees and then another 90 degrees, and that's it. So you torque it to 7 Newton meters, then 90, 90, done. So you give them a fair bit of curry, but that's what they're designed to do, I hope. I'm going to double check all of that. The rest of these don't look too bad. There is fuel leaked, but that seems to be coming from number 2 flare nut, this one here. So I'm going to re-torque all these lines. Anyway, wish me luck. I hope to have the injector in and everything running tonight. Well, that's I guess you call it a moment of truth moment. Torquing down. 7 Newton meters, right on the arse end of the scale for this torque wrench. And then one full 90 degree turn, and then another full 90 degree turn. Some people say they only do one, but you risk very rapid copper washer seal failure again. A lot of people were scared to do it. I was reading the forums, and some people were really scared to do it. To be honest, it felt perfectly fine to me. I wouldn't really go any further because it is a stretch bolt. It is designed to stretch, and they can break, but it felt completely comfortable. I'd do it again to all the other ones, no problem. So yeah, let's recheck these line tensions. I'll put a new O-ring on that little spill line return and eventually order brass ones, like 2 at the front. Yeah, and then we'll look at routing some coolant hoses, because there's some very decrepit hoses in this car. I'm not going to go completely nuts and change them all tonight. I don't have them all, but I'm going to do the main ones. That one there with the clamp off is going to the auxiliary pump. I should be able to replace that with parallel hose. I've got a new Y-piece joiner, a brass joiner, and the one that goes up to the firewall, to the heater core. I can do some of this in parallel hose, but some of them are very tight bends, so I can't do them in parallel hose. I'm going to have to buy some bends and probably some actual Mercedes hoses to do this. Is there a radiator one down there? No, there isn't. Top and bottom. Okay, so it's a return flow core, a split core. Inlet and outlet are on the same tank side, but there's actually a divider in there, so it has to go through the bottom half of the radiator to the side tank, then up and then across the top half. So yeah, these custom molded hoses I definitely have to buy in. The smaller stuff, nope. Anyway, yeah, a little bit of oil around the crankcase vent, that's normal. Oil in the inlet, a little bit of it's normal because it comes from the crankcase vent. Excessive oil consumption and black smoke, even at low throttle or startup, is not normal, but this one doesn't do it, thankfully. She's in pretty good nick considering the mileage. Number 4 glow plug, I think it is the one that's out. So I'll do that one day. He's just hiding down in there. Yeah. Fuel filter. Power steering reservoir. I believe that's the oil filter. Oh, look at that. Looks like a big heat exchanger coming off the back of it too. Probably a water to oil plate type heat exchanger. Liquid cooled alternator down there. Oh, there's the baby little turbo. What are you? Doesn't really say, probably a little Garrett. Certainly a bit of oil, but yeah, I don't like how the crankcase vent goes into the turbocharger itself, but that's just what they do. The other option might be to delete it and put a catch can on it, but still, that's probably going to mess with the electronic systems and the monitoring of it. Don't know. Oh, that's what I forgot to order, a belt. I'll do that after the roadworthy. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's put a new O-ring on that spill return line, check all the wiring and clamp that sensor back down. I don't know what that is. Could be an anti-knock sensor. Well, it wouldn't be an anti-knock sensor on a bloody diesel. Dirt. That'll probably be camshaft position sensor, if anything, because there's a cam directly under that and there's one directly next to the other side. There's probably another sensor hiding in there. Cam 1, cam 2. Yeah. Anyway. There's some interesting stuff. That little guy there's probably a lift pump. That big guy there's the main high pressure pump. 20-something thousand PSI. Nice. And there's a little modulator for the pump down there. Cool. Okay, just tidying things up, and I found this wire here's rubbed through on whatever the sensor is. Being brown, it looks like a ground, but if it's not a ground, or if it's supposed to be an isolated ground, it's not going to be very happy. The other two are baked hard and cracked, but they're not bad. The insulation's very hard, but it's just diesel exposure and very cooked. So I'm going to try and fix this. She's certainly seen better days. Because it was rubbing against this little post here. If I pull that... Where was it? It was there or somewhere. Or this one here, I think it was... I've rearranged it a little bit. That or it went under the injector and was rubbing against that bit there. All I know is it was rubbing against the head. I'm going to reroute it a little bit. I might have to get another connector and just splice it in back here. Pull this apart and clean everything up. Yeah, see that wire's cooked and split. I need to redo the injection harness. Ah well, it's not impossible to do, a little bit tedious. Just got to get back to clean wire and then just cut and splice every individual one. Or find out if there's actually a harness connector and replace the whole lot. But I'm pretty good at my wiring and heat shrinking and everything, so I could fix it. You just have to be gentle for the time being. That's looking a bit better. It's not ideal, I'm going to have to tie it back so it doesn't push on the brake fluid reservoir. But everything's pretty right. I mean, I'm working with all the best I've got at the moment, but I might just shorten this and bring it up a bit more so that's not such a tight bend. I can see the hoses flattening out a little bit. I really need a stainless steel spring down inside them. I'm going to do that little heater block hose as well. It's very swollen at the base, unnaturally swollen. Although being a plastic, oh, it's not a plastic block, it's cast alley. That's alright. The outlets of the heater core are cast alley or extruded alley as well, so thankfully they didn't fall off when I tried to pull hoses off. At least a heater core I can bypass. As long as the aircon works or the heater works, it'll pass roadworthy. You just need some way of demisting the windows. So yeah, time to tighten some clamps up, redo that one. I'll pull that out and set it in once everything's right. Yeah, not bad. That's what I'm replacing. It's a rather decrepit little thing. Alright, last step. Let's see what she does. There'll be air in the number 5 injector rail, so there'll be a bit of a dead miss or skip at startup, but should clear pretty quickly as they do. Should be. Only one way to find out. That's better. Oh, it sounds so much better. There's a stud down there. And something else. That sounds so much healthier. That's heaps better. I guess now the only other thing to do is, once I've done the roadworthy, you know, try not to drop them on the floor, but yeah, do the rest of the bolts for the hell of it. Ah, that sucks. Come on, that's why I ordered extras. Yeah, I'll do the rest of them. Alright. Light globes, wiper blade inserts. That's about it, I think. Yeah, lights, wipers, it's just ancillary stuff. Oh, and that ball joint, I might even just drop it off the bloke who's doing the roadworthy and just get him to do it. He'll have the separator and everything. I don't have a ball joint separator, so I'm going to give that one to him. I'll do the rest of it. Bit of stuff burning off the exhaust. That's coolant. Yeah, coolant burning off the exhaust. All good. That's much better. Still cold. Center light bulb's out. Didn't pick it for roadworthy, you can still read it in the dark, just the camera doesn't pick it up. I can hear a little bit of a boost leak now. Manifold or the MAF meter seal or something like that's leaking. But again, little things, fixable, easy. Anyway, thanks for watching.